computer unless you're speaking. That will cut down on the noise level and prevent any audio feedback. If you don't have a mute button, or perhaps you can't find it, I believe that *6 will also mute and unmute your phone. So today is April 21st, 2022. The Missouri Public Service Commission has set this time for a local public hearing for two related cases. File number SR-2022-0239, which is captioned in the matter of SK&M Water and Sewer Company's application for an increase in annual sewer system operating revenues. And then also file number WR-2022-0240, which is captioned as in the matter of SK&M Water and Sewer Company's application for an increase in its annual water system operating revenues. The Commission has scheduled this local public hearing to give members of the public a chance to comment about SK&M's two applications. The Missouri Public Service Commission regulates the rates charged by public utility companies in Missouri to ensure that those rates are just and reasonable. The Commission also regulates the quality of service and safety of the operations of public utilities. The Commission is made up of 5 commissioners. The commissioners are appointed by the governor to fixed terms and are confirmed by the Senate. The commissioners employ a staff of engineers, accountants, attorneys, financial analysts, and other specialists in the field of utility regulation. My name is Ken Sire. I'm a regulatory law judge for the Commission and will preside over this hearing. With me today are Commissioners Coleman and Holzman, and possibly Commissioner Kolkmeyer.
Kolkmeyer's here.
Thank you, Commissioner. This is an official hearing of the Missouri Public Service Commission, and the statements and testimony of witnesses will be recorded by a court reporter and must be given under oath. All of the commissioners will have the opportunity to read all of the witnesses' remarks, and additionally, I will brief the commissioners on what was said here tonight. The commissioners do value your comments and input. Would any of the commissioners like to make an opening remark? I hear none. Then I will begin by asking any counsel that are present to enter their appearance for the record.
Hello, this is Lindsay Van Gerpen on behalf of the Office of the Public Counsel.
Thank you.
And I'm Karen Bretz, BRETZ, for staff of the Missouri Public Service Commission.
Thank you. The way the way we will proceed is anyone who would like to make a comment will be placed under oath, and I will ask you to state and spell your name, and then you can offer your comments to the commission. Note that the commissioners won't be able to answer any of your questions today because they have to remain impartial until all of the evidence is presented at evidentiary hearing. The commission has not made any decisions in this case. The commission is interested in your comments and will use them to help make their decision. If you have any questions or comments after the hearing, you can use the same email address that you used to register for this hearing, which is watersewercomments@psc.mo.gov for staff, and mopco@opc.mo.gov for the Office of Public Counsel. So, is there anyone present tonight who would like to make comments on the record for the commission? All right. If there is none, um,
Okay, I had to unmute. Sorry, I thought I was being heard. Your Honor, Patrick Nager here.
all right. Mr. Nager, could you spell your last name, please?
Naeger.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Nager. Oh, excuse me. Let me place you under oath first.
You okay?
Thank you. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
All right. What would you like to tell the commissioners?
Yes, Your Honor. Good evening, and good evening, commissioners. And I know Commissioner Coleman. I know you were here back in 2019, and I appreciate you being on the panel again and your presence at this hearing this evening. I simply want to reiterate, from back in 2019, my wife and I own Parkwood Village Mobile Home Park, and it's a 48 or about a 40-acre parcel that is located within the SK&M Water and Sewer Company service area. We have the great distinct honor of having about 50 families in our mobile home park, and the rate increase that they received back in 2019 was pretty impactful. But I also know Rodney and Susan LaRose. I think they're good people. I think when they purchased SK&M, they bit off a lot more than they can chew, because there was a lot of capital improvements that needed to be made, and so I understood why they came before the PSC and at that time. And although they had asked for a $300,000 increase, the increase that they were given was about $200,000, and I think that's far. And I don't know the particulars, about 300 water customers and substantially less than that sewer customers. So as you can imagine, the rate increase was quite shocking to all those in the service area, and probably most have adjusted to it, but still today they're significantly higher than most utilities around us. And I would simply ask, one, that I received the letter, and I'll probably make a written comment as well. But I received the letter just last week from Mr. and Mrs. LaRose, and I was struck by how the letter sounded, because, and I can read for the commission as well, and hopefully this letter is part of the record also, but it states in here, during the rate case of 2019, the commission presented and encouraged the company to become the first in the state to take part in a special fund known as Environmental Improvement Contingency Fund. This fund is in place for small water and sewer utilities to build up reserves for improvements to the system necessitated by environmental regulations. I would hope that there's some record of how those funds have been invested, and I would also hope that the commission takes into consideration the amount of investment or lack thereof from the previous rate increase to improve the capital infrastructure. Also in the letter, they let us know that they initiated a rate case with the Missouri Public Service Commission, and that, I quote, "We are all aware of the stress and concern that came with the emergency rate case in 2019 and want to assure you going for a rate case at this time was not something we wanted to do." So I guess, and the other question, and it was, I think it was answered in the previous question and answer period, that they are not required to go for a rate increase. And so I'm I'm kind of puzzled at this statement, because the statement clearly implies that they are required to do this. And although this increase isn't nearly as significant as the previous increase in 2019, I would just ask that whatever the fund, the EICF plan, and I haven't studied this significantly enough, but I know that it's in statute and it's covered under the rules and regulations, and it requires investment of a certain percentage. And I just hope that all of that is taken into consideration as to what investments have been made. And if clearly a substantial amount of investment has been made and there's still a need, then I think you can take that into consideration as well. But I would say that in the time since, I mean, I know there's a lot of improvements that were needed back in 2019 in my park, and Mr. LaRose referred to water leakage, and many of those have yet to be repaired or reconstructed. And I know now goods and services are much more expensive, and that's happened in the last year or so. But anyway, I just want to share that information, and at the end of the day, I'm really just trying to look out for the tenants that call my mobile home park their home, and try to keep the rates affordable, because it does hinder my ability to attract tenants if the rates go too high. That's all I have, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Nager. Are there any questions from the attorneys? Any questions from the commissioners?
No questions, Judge. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, thank you for your testimony, Mr. Nager. And you can stay on or go back on mute, or you can drop off. Thank you.
All right, Your Honor. Thank you. Appreciate it. Bye-bye.
All right. Is there anyone else who would like to provide testimony today? All right. Then I would just like to thank all who participated today. And if you have any additional comments, or if there is, if you know of someone who could not be present and would like to comment, you can make those written comments by contacting the same email address used to register for the hearing, watersewercomments@psc.mo.gov, for the staff, or for the Office of Public Counsel, mopco@opc.mo.gov, or by going to the Public Service Commission's webpage. Anything further on behalf of the commissioners? All right, then this hearing is now adjourned and we are off the record.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Everybody have a
Thank
good
you,
evening.
Joey.